Hey there, superstar. In this video, I'll be diving into why group coaching can be way better, not just for you, but also for your clients. As a coach, you can understand really easily why a group coaching model might be better for you. You can make more money, more leveraged, more scalable, you can have more freedom, make more money, all the great things. But there's a pervasive belief that it's better for you, but not necessarily better for clients, and that the best kind of coaching, the gold standard, is one-on-one. Well, this is a really common belief, but I propose to you that it's not actually true. In my over 10 years of experience of leading both one-on-one and group coaching programs, and my 15, almost 16 years of experience also leading all kinds of one-on-one coaching, I can tell you that in my opinion, group coaching is superior to one-on-one. And in fact, when I'm looking for a coaching program to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish, I am much more likely now, because of what I know, to look for a group coaching program because of all the benefits that it has. So let me lay out for you some of what those benefits are so that when it comes time for you to design, and more importantly, to market and sell your group coaching program, you can stand confidently in the knowledge that you are delivering the utmost value. All right, let's go. So here are a few of the ways that I believe group coaching is superior to one-on-one. Now, obviously, in one-on-one, you have that deep client connection where the focus is on that client's outcomes, that you're customizing the program for them, you can spend more time with them. So that's all well and good, and I definitely appreciate that. But here's what group coaching has that one-on-one coaching doesn't. In a group, you are able to be witnessed by a multitude of other people, which is very, very powerful. Why? Because as human beings, we are programmed in our DNA, at the evolutionary biology level, to be a part of a group. We are, we evolved from tribes of people, and we spent tens, if not hundreds of thousands of years in tribal communities, fitting into these tribes. So there's a whole lot of biological pressure for us to belong to a group. So if you create a group coaching program that has high standards, that has good values, good agreements with amazing people, then dropping a new person into that culture, they very quickly, naturally, without a lot of effort on your part, rise to the occasion. Now, of course, I said a few things there that are really important as foundational premises, right? It's assuming that you have great people in a great community with good values and standards and agreements, right? So that's all part of what's on you to create as the leader of the group coaching program for it to be effective. But assuming you do that, and it is sometimes a heavy lift in the beginning, not gonna lie, assuming you do that, then it's a lot less work for you to get change, to get real fundamental identity level change, because people will change to adapt and belong to a group. Now, obviously, there are scenarios where we don't want that. We don't want people to feel pressure to lose themselves or to adapt their authenticity to fit in. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about cultures where people get to be their authentic self, right? They get to show up as who they really are. They get witnessed in that. They get supported in that. But if they do that, then this group has the ability to exert certain social pressure, for example, to do things like accountability and for people to do what they say they're gonna do. Another really great part of a group coaching program that can sometimes seem like not so great a part of it is that in a group, people often have to confront their triggers that were formed in childhood with their families and or in school and other situations that they were in as children. Let's back up a second and explain something that you may already know, you may already be working through this with people, which is that people have these experiences in childhood that mold who they become as adults. And any sort of traumatic experience as a child, which by the way is not limited to a violent experience or an abusive situation, any experience that a child does not have the capacity to process at the time can be a trauma, right? So we all have traumas of some nature, which is an intense experience that we weren't able to process. So those experiences, for example, let's say they got bullied in school, or their mother was very verbally abusive, or their dad forced them to do their homework over and over again until it was perfect, right? Whatever these situations were as children, when people come into a group situation, it often triggers those family dynamics or those schoolyard dynamics, and they might have discomfort there. And that might seem like a really bad thing, like, oh no, somebody's uncomfortable in my group, make it stop, right? But what I propose to you is that those triggers actually give that person the opportunity to clear out whatever maladaptive pattern or story or belief they created as a result of the original trauma. So when they're faced with that new trigger in your group, in the collective, it's an opportunity to clear out that wound if you create a culture of personal accountability. And what that means is that you creating a space where people recognize that those triggers are the opportunity to clear these old patterns and beliefs and behaviors. In the absence of that, what you're going to end up with is a group of people in conflict and yelling and screaming and fighting and bullying and gossiping about each other, right? So the key is to create a controlled environment, a safe environment where people are safe to come in and have their experience and feel their trigger and process it and move through it. Now, I'll share that one of the most powerful things about group coaching, now we've talked about all the ways that it can be beneficial for your clients, but I also want to talk about how it can be beneficial for you. As the coach, as the leader of a group coaching community, you're likely to get triggered by the same types of things about feeling inadequate or unworthy. If your people are fighting, feeling like you have to fix it and solve it for them, feeling like you have to be the hero and swoop in and figure it out, right? One of the most powerful things about leading a group coaching program is that you start to develop your own leadership and start to hold other people to account for higher standards and hold them to account for their behavior and hold them to account for how they're showing up in the group. Honestly, one of the most challenging things that I ever had to do, and rewarding things, was step into leadership in this way and actually notice some of the maladaptive, maladjusted patterns that people have and bring love to them and leadership to them and help them process them instead of trying to kind of cover them up or bypass them. In terms of your own growth, I think you'll grow a whole lot more from coaching a group of people through these dynamics than you would ever do coaching people one-on-one. So if this appeals to you and you're somebody who's like, yeah, I want to try this, I want to have this experience, and maybe you want to have more leverage, more scale, more prosperity in your coaching practice, then let's connect. I can help you figure out the model and the business plan to make it happen. You can find out more about working with me at superstaractivator.com/go. I have programs and services and DIY courses. I even have a new group called the Superstar Collaboratory that I'm just launching. I hope to meet you soon.